Hi, I'm Lance Lambert. Thanks for tuning into the Vintage Vehicle Show. We are in Marysville, Washington at the Jess and Teresa Jones Collection. This is a great collection. A lot of Chevrolets here, a lot of beautiful cars, and a lot of other stuff. There's neon and pumps and toys and all kinds of great stuff. And the proprietor or whatever of this, the collector, the curator, Jess, come on in here. How you doing?
Good, Lance. How are you?
Good. You have been on the show in the past when we had a really nice 56 Chev that you had, and that was great, and gotten to know you and found out about your collection here, and really impressive. So how did this come together?
Well, it all started many years ago, and as a kid, of course, got into old cars, and as time went on, I kept keeping one, and I'd keep two, and then I'd keep three, and sometimes I'd part with one or two and get another one, stuff like that. So.
And the preference for Chevrolet, where'd that come from?
My dad, I would say. We were always a Chevrolet family, so.
You're in a situation that a lot of the viewers are just dream of. You have this great big building full of cars and cool stuff, and you have another building full of stuff, and how did you pull this all together? You just decided this is what you wanted to do, or?
Actually, I had a wife that does not want me to sell cars.
Okay.
Most women the other way. It was, get rid of them, let's move on. No, not her. She says, we're not selling them.
Well, a lucky man. And you have gas pumps and pedal cars, and you've expanded bicycles. How did that come in?
Yeah, one bicycle. The bicycle I got was actually my cousin's in 1947. He got it brand new, and I got it from my uncle and restored it and stuff like that. So.
All right. Well, can we take a look at some of the cars here?
Sure.
All right, let's go. Jess, your cars in here, they range from bone stock to kind of this looks like it's at the far end of the semi-custom or whatever.
Yeah, this is the most radical. So.
Tell us about this car.
It's a 39 Chev. It's got chop top, suicide doors. The hood used to be butterfly, now it's a single piece goes up. It has a Del Gary chassis under it, Toyota headlights, Lexus taillights, hand-built grille.
Obviously, you don't have to be a purist all the time as far as like some of your 50s, your Tri-5s in here. They look pretty original. But what makes you decide I want this one bone stock and I want this one a mild custom, or what makes the decision for you?
Well, mainly I don't do any on bone stock. The Corvette to our side over here is stock, but most of them I'd rather modify them a little bit because I like the taste better and you drive them better and more comfortable to drive and stuff like that. So.
Have you run into a situation where a purist comes along and, well, how could you have done this to a perfectly good 39 Chev?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and what do you tell them?
Well, they better do their own. Yeah. Like I have a Chevelle that the guy just can't believe that I modified it, So
what's the running gear on this? What's getting this car around?
Okay, this here has a Ramjet Chevrolet 350 in it with a 700R Ford transmission and a 9-inch Ford rear end. And it's fuel injected, and it's got a neat motor cover built over it and stuff like that. So,
why are 350s so popular, and why are 9-inch Ford rear ends so popular?
They're both inexpensive, and they're both durable. They're bulletproof. So
the performance on this is everything it needs to be?
Yeah, pretty much so. For an older guy like me, maybe a young kid, you might want a lot more than this has got, but for me, it runs really nice. So.
And the engine looks good, too. That's a good-looking rig in there. What is it about the car? I mean, you're well known in the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast and the car community. What is it about these cars? Why are we just nuts over these cars? How come we're not out, dedicating our life to golf or quilting or square dancing? What is it, do you think?
Well, I think it's a pure passion, you just love the old cars and you meet so many neat people with them and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just something I just love, so.
Car shows are a place where I have to remind myself to look at the cars because the people are so much fun.
Yeah.
Then my wife accuses me, especially on something like this.
Right.
She says, you like these cars because they look like women because they have these nice curves, and she may be right. But you've got something really nice sitting next here, a nice pickup truck. Can we take a look at that?
Sure.
All right. 48 Chev pickup. But this one, there's all kinds of changes on this. At first glance, if somebody didn't know, they might go nice, and then they realize the changes. Tell us some of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of things been done to this truck. To start with, we took two different cabs and made the doors 6 inches longer. And so I'm a big guy, so I had room to fit in there. The bed on the back is off of a 92 Fleet side, and then we welded the fenders on it, make it fit. It's got Frenched headlights, got a whole hand-built chassis underneath it, all Corvette suspension.
What's the running gear in it?
The running gear is a 350 Chevy again, with a 700R Corvette rear end.
Okay.
So.
On your bed, I've seen other guys do it, but I know you did it really early on. Sometimes when you put a new bed on an old truck, it doesn't work, but putting the original fenders on is the secret, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really. Narrowing up the original steel bed. So the step sides are fiberglass, so you can't do that. So we narrow up the original, and then we just had to keep scribing the fenders, getting them fit on there, and then weld them on. So.
Truck guys seem to be, I mean, I only see one truck in your collection. There seems to be two different kind of personality types. There's guys that are really into trucks or guys that are really into everything else. Right. You're crossing over both sides.
Yeah, I really like the trucks. I mean, they're not as popular as a car is or something like that. The value isn't quite there, but I just love the trucks. So.
Well, speaking of the other side, kind of a traditional looking sedan, let's take a look over here.
Okay.
This 56 Chev, on the surface it looks pretty stock, but it's obviously had lots of tweaks done to it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, this car right here is another one we started building. We built many years ago, actually, and it's mainly a stock body completely, 210, two-door sedan, which I like the sedans really well. They're tighter than the hardtops and stuff. It's got a ZZ 350 Chev motor in it, turbo 350 train this one, and another 9-inch Ford rear end. Drop spindles. Other than that, vintage air. It's got digital dash.
Tri-5 Chevs, 55, 56, 57 Chevs are so incredibly popular, and they, I think, have been since they rolled off the showroom floor. I know the simple answer is they just designed a nice car, but why do you think they have consistently been so popular all these years?
Well, it's just a generation of people too, you know. The people that have these cars, or a lot of them are people that won when it was in high school or something like that, and they're just a real popular car. They're easy to build, more or less inexpensive. Well, nothing's inexpensive, but.
You mentioned the sedan thing. Everybody loves hardtops, but the sedans have kind of a bad boy look to them. They just kind of look like, don't mess with me.
They look like they're racers right out the box.
Old gassers.
Yep.
The color on this is not, you know, it's not red. It's not in your face. It's a little more subtle, but looks good on it. What makes your choices?
You know, when I got ready to paint a car, I drive around new car lots and find the color I like, and it turned out this was on a 92 Dodge Stealth. It's called teal, is what it is.
Your favorite of the Tri-5s, what year you like the best?
56.
Okay, me too.
Yep.
Yep, I think it was the best of 55s.
You know, they are actually the least popular, though. The 55 is the most popular, and then a 57, then a 56.
Yeah, that's just because we're smarter than everybody else.
That's right.
Speaking of 55, right next to us here with, you know, red and has what they call the Ferrari grille in it. Can we take a look at this?
Sure.
Jess, I'm going to make a confession to you that I'm still paying the price for from some of my high school buddies. I had a 54 Olds in high school, two-door 88 lowered chrome wheels, loved the car. My sister had a really nice 55 Chevrolet that she decided to sell, and I didn't buy it, and my buddies still can't figure out what was wrong with me. But, you know, I like 56 the best. 55 are my second favorite of the Tri-5s. Just a clean design.
Yeah, I mean, 55 to me, I mean, I like them all. The 55, 56, and 57s. The 56 is my favorite, but I won't give up to 55 either. I mean, I got 2 or 3 of each of them, you know, and I just love the Tri-5 Chevys, so.
My understanding is that the front end of these, that grille that I referenced as the Ferrari grille, that was a big risk for Chevrolet when they put that on the market.
Yeah, well, I heard they almost didn't do it that way, so.
It obviously worked. With the running gear in this, what have you done to it?
This has a fuel-injected LT1 in it, and it's got a 700R tranny, 9-inch Ford rear end again. It's got a vintage air, Dakota digital dash in it, turbo control arms, 500 series steering box in it, and I think that's about it.
The resto rod approach to these, or taking the, you haven't altered the body lines on this, but you have updated the running gear. The reason for doing that, comfort and performance, or?
Well, I think it's pretty hard to beat the stock look that General Motors came out with to start with. I mean, maybe someone would take a bird off the hood or smooth the bumpers out or something like that, but other than that, I mean, General Motors did a great job designing these cars. So.
We talked about the 55 and the 56 Chev, and I think a lot of the car community would agree that if you want to pick any car that represents the collector car hobby, in some people's minds, number one is a 57 Chev. And here it is.
Yeah, I think a 57 Chev is a beautiful car. It's just that, like I told you before, I'm a 56 Chev nut, I just like them better. But the 57 Chev has a lot of neat things to it that the other ones don't have, like the bullets on the hood, the bumpers are a little neater, and I don't know.
The fins are,
the fins are there.
And the chrome on the side, or the brushed aluminum, whatever that is made out of, that's
in the back.
Very distinctive on these. And been a popular car since they rolled out of the factory, and just seems like they've gotten more and more popular. This particular one, you mentioned off camera, you've had this for 18 years?
Yeah, going on 18 years right now, so it's a long time to own one car. So it's been an awful good car. We bought this thing down in Reno in 1992, I think it was. So.
You and Teresa, you see eye to eye on the cars that you have?
Pretty much so. She's the one who picked this car out. This is her car. She said, I want that car, we're going to buy that car, and we ended up paying more than we thought we was going to pay for it because she wanted this car. And it's one that she will not let me sell. So,
some of the guys in the hobby, and you and me, a couple of guys talking about this, you have a wife that is very, very much, I mean, you're in the Hot Rod Hall of Fame, and she's in the Hot Rod Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
And she's right there for you. I'm blessed with a wife who, she doesn't go to the car shows, but she sends me off to them with her blessings and lets me fill the garage with all kinds of crazy stuff. And then there are people that aren't so lucky. What do you think it is that makes a couple really be of like mind in the hobby?
Well, like our deal, our whole life is cars. I mean, just about everything we do is related around cars one way or the other. It's just, even if we go someplace, we call buddies other cars, and we just go in cars. We go on a vacation, it's car related, so.
And what is that? What got into our bloodstream that made us so goofy for old cars? I mean, if you bought a new Kia for 11 grand, it's going to run better than this does, probably.
Yeah, I don't think I want to drive something like that.
It's a crazy thing. You've had this for 18 years. Some of these you've had much shorter periods of time, but they're fixed up. Where do you do that, and who does it? Do you do it all, and how do these get to this condition?
Well, I do the mechanical part of a car and pinch work and that kind of stuff, and my body and paint work I farm out to this shop up here towards Arlington. So
you have another shop here on your?
Yes, I do. I have another building that I do the work over there in, assembly work, and no body and paint though. So.
Okay, so you leave that to somebody that's
knows what they're doing.
Yeah. You have, here's a 57 Chev. You have some newer vehicle down there that we're going to talk to, but you have this another 39. We looked at the real custom 39 earlier. You have one here that's kind of more of a traditional looking hot rod. We take a look at that?
Yep, let's take a look at that one.
Earlier we looked at your 39 Chev that was very significantly customized. This one, though, it's pretty flashy. The body looks pretty original on this. Tell us about it.
Yeah, this one here, this is not chopped, all the doors open the proper way, stock fenders, stock hood, it opens like a butterfly does, and this is just a resto rod more or less. So.
And what's a hot rod? What's a red hot rod without flames? This is pretty cool. Leroy Anderson did these flames, right?
Yeah, he did. He did these for me quite some time ago, and I believe it's the first set of flames he's ever done. And I'm not sure he's done any since then, but he's moved to Las Vegas, I believe, now.
Right.
So.
Well, I have a Leroy Anderson mailbox in front of my house. So,
they're cool.
Painted by him. What's the running gear in this?
This has got a ZZ4 350 Chevy in it, 700R, vintage air, 9-inch Ford again, Mustang front end under the front of it.
This one, we were talking off camera. This one, you have some really flashy show cars here, but this one, you drive this.
Yeah, I do. We drove this to Minnesota and back here a year and a half ago. It was 4,000 miles, and we just got back from Vancouver and Kelowna, Canada in this car. That was another 1,300 miles, and we're going to drive this to Pleasant here in a couple of weeks. So
you see within the hobby the extremes. Some people, they build a car and they won't even let you look at it. You know, they won't drive it. They won't let a raindrop hit it. They won't do anything. And then at the other end, you have people that just drive the heck out of what they have. What do you think about that? Where do you stand on
I
it?
like to drive them. My custom one I don't drive very much, but this one here, I've got 35,000 miles on it now. So.
Wow, that's pretty significant.
Yep.
And you got a flashy new car down the way here. Can we take a look at that?
Sure.
You got a flashy, almost new car here. A 67 Chevelle SS 427. This is a whole lot of muscle cars sitting here.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun to drive. You talk about no power like in my 350 cars. This thing has lots of power. You know, you just step on the gas, it spins the tires you want. It's a 4-speed, factory air, bucket seats.
The whole muscle car thing, which everybody understands and most people appreciate, but I remember I graduated from Stadium High School in Tacoma in '65, and that was, you know, this stuff was just coming on the scene about then, and the transition, you know, back then everybody wanted a 57 Chev or whatever, and then, you know, all our little brothers started wanting stuff like this. What do you think about that transition period?
I think it was a great time in life because you had all those powerful cars. Gas was 30 cents a gallon or less or something like that. And you could buy a brand new car like this for, what, $4,000, you know?
And a 427, that was the top of the food chain back then.
Yeah, actually, this did not come with a 427. It came with a 396, and we put the 427 in it. So.
And runs out pretty good. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This one right here, you'd like to drive this one.
You have an amazing collection here of cars, obviously, but you have everything else. You have pedal cars, and you have gas pumps, and you have neon and models and all kinds of cool things. That's another really neat part of the hobby. What got you away from the cars and into that kind of stuff?
Well, you could buy a car, say, for $20,000. You can buy a pedal car for $2,000, you know, and so you can, gas pumps are a couple $1,000s, you know, so it's just something that reminds you of the old gas stations and the old cars and stuff like that to have around. So.
And walking into a collection like this and looking at the cars shining under the glow of the neon is pretty cool.
Looks really cool that way.
You made reference earlier to the bicycle that was your...
That was my cousin's. My uncle bought it for him in 1947. It was a Schwinn. And my uncle had it in his garage up until just here recently, and he gave it to me, and I've restored it now. So.
Is it the frame strong enough to carry my weight on it?
Yep, you can take it for a ride.
All right, well, let's take that for a ride, all right?
Sure.
Okay. Jess, thank you very much. What a treat to see your collection here. And
Glad to have you here. So
beautiful stuff. Big thank you to Teresa. Tell her hello for us. Okay.
I'll do that. Yep.
And thank you very much for watching the show. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you like this show, tune in again next time. All right, here I go.
Okay.
See ya.
See you later.
What if I did something like this and jumped out and said boo? No. Yeah.